I work for this major healthcare company. It's amongst the top 10 Fortune 500 companies, and we've been leveraging CA API management to make our healthcare business services available on the cloud. So to make them available on the cloud and to enable our healthcare capabilities to be consumed by different consumers in real time across plethora of channels. We are leveraging CA API management. That's the tool that we chose by doing a huge comparison across different competitors. It's a pretty crazy industry if you really see it. CA API management helps us to securely consume various services. So, and also the biggest thing has been to do monetization of your services. So we have certain rules that have been defined where you basically say that this specific healthcare capability is of greater value, and we put a dollar amount to it as to which consumers can consume how much and based on its usage and all that. So CA API management has been the driver for our digital transformation. It's interesting, these days the entire business is heading towards a completely distributed platform where the consumers are everywhere. You have business-to-business consumers, you have API management consumers, and you have mobile consumers, right? And now at the same time you have data providers that are growing heavily. You have data analytics-based platforms, and then companies are heading towards helping consumers to make analytics-driven decision. Let the data drive the decision. So now you are the middleware industry around microservices is facing its own challenge on how to meet these goals upstream and downstream from these back-end services. So that's where the microservices platform, API management of CA helps heavily to make sure that you provide your services on the cloud. It's a very good software from the standpoint of making an API commercializable, making an API accessible. The security industry is extremely complex. To provide various security capabilities to an API, that's fairly simpler. However, we are facing challenges in scaling the CA API management software. So we have seriously faced certain challenges if your API usage goes beyond certain limit, say 100,000 transactions per minute. I'm just throwing out a number, I won't be able to provide you the real number, but we are facing challenges seriously in scaling, in clustering the CA API management software, and then making sure that we can reliably meet our transactions as your usage grows on the cloud. So we've been using it for the past 2.5 to 3 years. However, now we have come to a point where our scale is growing and our organization is unable to keep up with the needs of the consumer. So we are constantly working with CA API management's operational personnel. They are helping us out, but these are our challenges, to be very honest. Technical support, definitely they are extremely knowledgeable. However, we have faced some challenges where in our initial discussion, we don't get a level 1 support. You want the guy with the most knowledge to be there right up front. So it gradually takes 3 or 4 levels. But the good thing is our own internal staff is coming up to speed on this, but otherwise CA API management, I mean, they have great knowledge, they built this product, so they are very helpful, I must say. It's challenging at this point, I must say, because as the healthcare API marketplace is growing, CA API management has been chosen as the platform for the entire firm. So now as the APIs are growing, the API management product capability also has to grow. Some of the challenges we are facing is sometimes you have these mainframe systems, and these mainframe systems are incredibly slow to respond. So now your product has to be in a position to should be capable to keep your response times open, right, for that much duration. So that's one challenge. And ability to scale up, we face that beyond 90,000 or 100,000 transactions. The product has this limitation on it cannot scale. So we are seriously facing challenges around response time per transaction. Under certain seconds, our business demands 0.1 milliseconds of response time. However, we are seriously reaching up to 3 seconds somewhere. So I think we internally have to make this serious call around leveraging CA API management for certain kind of transactions, maybe segregate the platform. So there are different architecture strategies for it, different approaches for it, and we can really achieve it. But but we need to tune it a lot better. The product overall on a scale of 1 to 10, from scalability standpoint, I would give 8. I would certainly give 8 because I would have loved to go 9 or 10 because no product in this world can scale any needs from the get-go. But the customer service and the technical support has been outstanding, I must say. They have been very helpful. So at least they are helping us out. So if answer your question by considering CA as from holistic perspective, not just the product, their ability to meet our needs, their ability to support us, their ability to answer our calls, answer our specific technical questions. So yeah, I think I would rate it 8. With scalability, it comes resiliency. If you cannot scale, you are not resilient. If you're not resilient, your performance is worse. If your performance is worse, your API and services are not available. 5 nines of availability is one of the key criteria in the industry, 99.99% availability. That really means 6 hours of downtime in a year. So seriously, can you really ensure that? So everything is interlinked. If you really see, if we talk about software architecture, quality attributes, these are all interlinked. So I would say that eventually it comes down to your customer satisfaction from there on, right? You will see it. So yes, that's our number one goal. Right now, scalability is maybe one of the problems, but from the standpoint of onboarding a new API on layer 7, that's fairly simple. I see that it's one of the extremely user-intuitive and user-friendly softwares it's been. And our operational personnel who have barely any experience, they could get on with it and help the enterprise register as many APIs as possible from the get-go. If I'm looking for an API management vendor, then I would look at API management vendors, this vendor's capability, their product's capability to make their services available on the cloud, monetization, security, availability, being performant, resiliency, being flexible enough to provide different security integration mechanisms to different APIs. How flexible that software is. So that and user intuitiveness, my operational personnel should be able to be on the running from the get-go. So I think these are some of the key attributes that we would really look at. We did a comprehensive analysis on CA API management, followed by APG, followed by, there is a SOA software which I'm unable to think at this point. There are 2 more other softwares. We did a comprehensive analysis of a balanced scorecard by comparing the capabilities and the attributes across all these softwares on a scale of 1 to 10. And then the scorecard came to in such a way that the CA API management stood out on every scale for us. I think cost was also one of the key factors. We figured that APG and other softwares were on a higher scale from the cost standpoint, so I think that played a major role. See, there's a human psychology. People tend to support what they have done in the past, right? It's always the case. You ask a mainframe programmer, he would say mainframe is the most rock-solid, stable platform in this world. So I would say, because we have lived in CA API management, I would say absolutely you have to use CA API management. So jokes apart, the customer has to know the capabilities of API management software. I see a lot of people asking me, can I do decoupled services in API management, for example? No, API management software's purpose is not to do decoupled services, it's to make your services available on the cloud. It acts as a security gateway so that your consumers can access your services. So one needs to know what he's looking for. These are the fundamental characteristics of an API management software. So if you compare those characteristics, CA API management leads the industry.